Hello viewers and welcome to Newzim TV. I am Makanaka Masenya. My story is making the headlines. IATA confronts Mnangagwa over foreign currency repatriation, and the courts maid disappears with $4,000 property and tells the court she wanted to assist the poor in her community. In business, individuals, NGOs trade $9 million on the interbank market in 5 days. In sports, Moroccan giant Raja Casablanca eye Kama Billiards. Now for the news in detail. Foreign airlines operating in Zimbabwe have engaged the International Air Transportation Association to confront President Emmerson Mnangagwa over difficulties they are facing in repatriating their earnings from Zimbabwe. Briefing journalists following a meeting with Mnangagwa and Finance Minister Mthuli, IATA Director General Alexandra Dujanak said they had been forced to confront Mnangagwa in order to find a way to get their money, now running into over $100 million.
Our funds cannot be repatriated when you buy tickets to fly from or to Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe, the funds cannot be given back to the airlines. So it's a big concern, and we asked for a meeting with the key official and the president of Zimbabwe, who has accepted to receive us and to establish a framework under which we'll be able to find an agreement to solve the issue. It will be a multi-year plan. We will find the appropriate solution by discussing and collaborating with the Zimbabwean government.
Government last month introduced a new policy that bans the use of foreign currency in all domestic transactions. However, airlines are allowed to continue charging in hard currencies. In 2016, IATA issued a statement urging Zimbabwe, among other countries, to respect international agreements obliging them to ensure airlines are able to repatriate their revenues. IATA monitors blocked funds globally, the sum of which exceeds $5 billion. The top two countries blocking the repatriation of airlines funds are Venezuela and Nigeria. Authorities have arrested and charged with subversion MDC Vice Chairman Job Sikala following his weekend rant that the opposition party was planning to overthrow President Emmerson Mnangagwa before scheduled elections in 2023. Sikala surrendered himself to Harare police mid-morning Tuesday in the company of his lawyers Obey Shava and Jeremiah Bamu, members of the Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights. According to a statement from the MDC, Sikala is being charged with subversion. Honorable Vice Chairman Job Sikala has been charged with contravening Section 22, subsection 2A3 of the Criminal Law Codification and Reform Act, or subverting a constitutionally elected government. If convicted, Sikala faces up to 20 years in jail. The Zengeza West lawmaker is expected to appear in court Wednesday. Sikala reportedly told an MDC campaign rally in Bikita that the opposition party was ready to overthrow Mnangagwa before 2023, adding he was not joking. Labour Federation, the Zimbabwe Congress of Trade Unions, has tentatively set aside the 22nd and 23rd of July as the days when the country's workers will down tools in protest against deteriorating economic conditions. The ZCTU late last month met government and business at the tripartite negotiating forum, where a resolution was passed urging government to either reverse or review the new policy, introducing a local currency and banning the use of the United States dollar-dominated multi-currency system. While details of the proposed protest remain sketchy, NewZimbabwe.com has seen letters addressed to the ZCTU's affiliates requesting support for the shutdown. ZCTU's President Peter Mtasa told NewZimbabwe.com that the dates had been agreed on, but consultations were still underway. In January, the ZCTU called for a general strike in protest against a 150% fuel price increase. The stay-away turned violent, forcing government to deploy the army, in which live ammunition was used, leaving at least 17 people dead. Mutasa is currently facing trial for subversion related to his role in the violence. New Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission boss Lois Matanda Moyo has started her term by handing former Zimbabwe National Road Authority Finance Director Simon Taranike's name to the National Prosecuting Authority for trial. Taranike, who together with his deputy Anyway Mudodo were suspended pending investigations last week Monday, is implicated in massive fraud at the parastatal. He was arrested on the same day by members of the Zimbabwe Republic Police and handed over to ZAC officers for questioning. Taranike, who was allegedly aligned to ZANU-PF's G40 faction, shed tears in court last year as he narrated how he had worked in cahoots with Zinara executives to siphon millions from the road authority in anticipation of a ZANU-PF loss at last year's election. In the courts, a 21-year-old pregnant maid who vanished with her employer's property worth $4,000 escaped jail by a whisker after a Mutare magistrate instead committed her to community service. Rutendo Mamuka of Hakuziwi village under Chief Mutambara, who was employed by Esther Matondo as a maid in Murambi low-density suburb, pleaded guilty to theft charges when she appeared before Mutare magistrates' courts. Mamuka in her plea told the court that her intention was not to steal from her employer, but she took the property to assist the poor in her community. She was ordered to perform 420 hours of community service at a nearby school in her community. In delivering judgment, the magistrate took into consideration that Mamuka was expecting. In business, the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe says that almost $9 million was traded by individuals and non-governmental organizations on the interbank market in 5 consecutive days last week, indicating that the move to abolish the multi-currency regime in favor of the Zim dollar is bearing positive results. Addressing guests at a Zim dollar return feedback meeting early this week, RBZ Governor John Mnangagwa said following the reintroduction of the Zim dollar, individuals and NGOs have resorted to exchanging their money at the interbank market. The RBZ boss said he was impressed by the long queues in banks where people are intending to change their money. According to the central bank, about $645 million has been traded on the interbank market since the platform was established in February this year. We are taking a short break. We will be back soon.
Many people have been asking me how did I manage it, because they could see that everything was there, everything was just happening, things were being paid. So I've told people that it was through Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan. So I would advise everyone to join this Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan. Their policy is good because it took all the weight off my shoulders.
In sports, Warriors talisman and Kaizer Chiefs forward Kama Billiat has reportedly emerged as a major target for Moroccan football giants Raja Casablanca. According to a report from MaghribFood.com, Raja technical director Fatih Jamal was hugely impressed with the Chiefs forward after his individual performances for Zimbabwe at the Africa Cup of Nations. Jamal is said to believe that Billiat can replace starman Zakaria Hadraf, who left the North African team for Saudi Arabia. The reports of Raja Casablanca's interest in Billiat comes after the player's agent Mike Ngombeni revealed that he has been approached by several North African clubs we have been making inquiries about the players. Despite the fact that Warriors were eliminated in no uncertain terms, Bulletin was still able to sparkle at times on the ball, and it caught the attention of some major clubs on the continent. To end this news bulletin, here's a recap of headlines once more. IATA confronts Mnangagwa over foreign currency repatriation. In business, individuals, NGOs trade $9 million on the interbank market in 5 days. In sports, Moroccan giants Raja Casablanca eye Bulletin. Reporting for newzimbabwe.com, I am Akanaka Masenyama. For this and more stories, visit our website www.newzimbabwe.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Museum TV.